Episode number 6 of Princess Connect Redive. This one was called Codename Monica, and this was focused on a side character that was introduced and kind of fleshed out during this one episode. Now, what I want to say kind of just up front is when I review anime, right? I may mention past episodes depending on how each of the episodes tie into each other. When it comes to Princess Connect specifically, almost for the most part, each episode is its own self-contained story. They have these little, like I say every single week, they cover these little bite-sized adventures. Now, I need to let you know up front, because I do review each of the episodes individually. Episode 6 was just okay. This week's episode, we got a focus on, again, like I said earlier, we got a focus on Monica, which ended up being this little pigtailed, blonde little girl. And we got to see her and her 3 friends who are in a guild or an adventurers party with each other go out to the world, and kind of what their struggles are, and them trying to repay debt, and them causing destruction, and them having to repay and keeping themselves out of jail and all this other stuff. And ultimately, them causing the mass destruction or the mass issue that took place in this episode, which was really, really gelatinous form. And because of that, we strayed away from our main character. They were in here still, right? Obviously, Pecorine is still the one that ended up dealing the final blow. Kokoro was in here like a little bit. They were there. You know what I mean? Yuki had some interactions with the girls that were introduced this episode, and then you have Carol as well, who was basically almost non-existent this episode, which is fine. But because of that, there was really 2 notable moments within this episode that I really say, okay, these are the ones that fit with where I have Princess Connect now, which has been pretty high regards. Those 2 scenes was when Yuki ended up confronting the girl who has a strong 𝐒𝐻𝐸𝐵𝐭, hen H word, addiction. And the bells that were ringing inside of his head were those of the people that he had interacted with, of being worried about this girl. So he lit her magazines on fire, which lit a fire under her, which caused her to pass out. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. The next scene in the anime the anime episode that I thought was really good, was when Monica and her group of friends found the gelatinous substance. I'm going to use a rubber band here. They found the gelatinous substance, and she was just like, oh, what is, she's like, oh, what is this? What is this? And she's like, oh, we could put this into, I'm use Arceus right here. We could put this into toys, and, then they will start moving, and the people around here will pay a lot of money, because the little monkey thing that they had, they're like, oh, we'll give you 15, 10, 20,000, whatever currency it is, gold, silver, whatever. And she was like, son of a bee, I can get out of debt. Well, they go to find the source of the substance. They grab their, I don't have anything they grab their little sticks. They put the substances on the sticks, and they go and they find it. And it explodes and causes the disruption in the town. And then later on, at the end of the episode, she ends up having to fix the part of the town, doing her part, looking good to the town, with none of the townspeople knowing that her and her group are what caused this gelatinous explosion. Good part of that is that, hey, that could have erupted potentially at any time and caused danger anytime. It might as well have happened now, and they got rid of it by the Princess Strike, which is cool. But overall, I would say that I was the least engaged in this episode. But considering on the I think we've got like 8.5, really solid level of production and storytelling this season so far. With the backstory of, Yuki's backstory finally getting presented to us, Carol's yin and yang decision with her finally having to deal with the decisions that she's made, with finding out that Pecorine was kicked out of the kingdom, and what's that lady's name? Euphoria, Euthanasia, the kitty who the cat lady who Carol serves, that she was an imitation of Pecorine, and Pecorine's gonna try. So there's a lot of weaves that have been dealt. A lot of cards that have been dealt. That's a better word. This season so far, and I really appreciate that. So considering that this episode might have been a little, a little ass, it's okay because it still had a couple of really funny moments. And in the holistic sense, when you're able to watch this season fully, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. This is one I'll give it a pass. I laughed. I belly laughed twice, so that's a big win for it. I just think that when anime strays away from main characters, it can be done. Some do it well. I just don't think that these characters were done that well. And I think this is like a one and done too. So they try to introduce them, fledge them out, and wrap up their story all in one. And I'm just leaving with like, okay, well, where is she from? Who is she reporting to? She mentioned that this is not like her country. She has to investigate Landisol and investigate their club. She talked about how she gets invited to toy stores but gets kicked out of bars. I thought that was cute and funny, but like, okay, if they're never gonna touch base on this girl again, they shouldn't really be introducing other characters. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think this episode was a little ass, but it was okay. It wasn't the worst. It was like a good 5, a 5.5. It was a mid episode of excellent season. So, overall, if the season's a 10, it's episodes like this that drags it down to like an 8.5, like an 8, which is all good. All right, I'm leaving you guys on those thoughts there. Thank you guys for joining me for another week of Princess Connect Redive. As always, I appreciate you guys being here. And the last words were those that were spoken in Fast and Furious. Monica! Peace out.